welcome back to the Greener Side channel. I'm your host, Natasha Collins, and on this channel we offer grow tips, harvest advice, and a look into what it's like being a medical cannabis farmer here in Oklahoma. In today's video, Joe and I spent a lot of time right here in the studio answering questions from our subscribers. We really wanted to let you guys know we appreciate you, we are listening, and although it gets busy here on the farm, we want to hear what you have to say. Now first, I'm going to show you some of the work he got done in the big grow room. Joe finished the roof and he has the electric started to be run and the box installed. But after that, we'll come into the studio and we have a lot of information to help you guys find stuff about the OMMA, about getting your license, about growing medical cannabis here in Oklahoma. So let's get started. Woohoo! One down, how many to go?
Oh yeah, I did 2 here.
I know, but that's your first one down. What, like another 85 more to go?
Yeah.
Hi there everyone! We are back in the studio to answer some questions from our subscribers. Question number 1 this week is, how do you get information about growing medical marijuana here in Oklahoma? And Joe has actually been on the website. I'm going to put up some screenshots of what the website looks like, but basically it's the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority. Right, Joe? What do they call it?
Right, the OMMA. And on that website, you'll find pretty much all the information you will need relevant to licensing, whether you're a patient or a commercial producer or grower or retailer. So that's a great place to start, and one that...
I think they have, I'll flash a picture on there, but they have a frequently asked page or frequently asked question page, and
Yes.
They have a place for just business applications to go, a portal for them to go through.
Right. And we found the site fairly easy to use, and all through the application process fairly easy to navigate through, and it works out very well, the system that they have in place. So again, that's a great place to start, and one that we can direct you guys to.
Yes, the Oklahoma Medical Marijuana Authority. That's OMMA.ok.gov. Yes. Okay, so question number 2. What strains should we be growing here in Oklahoma? And you know this is a Joe question, so I'm going to let him take it from here.
That's a tough question, and there's probably not one right answer, especially for any one particular individual or producer.
Well, let's talk about a patient.
Right. I would say a very good general recommendation for anyone to start with, whether you want a sativa or indica. The sativa side, we would recommend a Blue Dream. It's very user-friendly from the cloning phase all the way through the actual flowering and harvest phase. And maybe on the indica side, we would recommend something
from the cookies, probably?
Yes, from the Girl Scout cookie family. Any cookie cross, for example, may be a good one. Those, again, probably lean more indica generally. So on that, I think you pick based on your preference of whether you want a more sativa leaning plant or a more indica leaning plant. and kind of go from there. But those two, I would strongly suggest.
Those
I
are
think
the
for
easiest.
anyone, for
Right.
anyone starting from
Now,
basic.
you cannot forget that if you find a strain that works really well for your condition, you should probably go and look for that clone over what we're recommending.
Exactly. And like I said, there's no one perfect answer for this question that's going to be
Gosh, that might take
relevant
years
yes,
to actually
to everybody's needs or wants. So yes, basically find something that you prefer, and maybe start with something like that to see how it goes. But yeah, at least a couple of recommendations we could offer.
Blue Dream and Girl Scout cookies.
Yes.
See how it goes. Give us feedback. Maybe you found out where you're growing it does not work very well, and we'd love to share that with our subscribers. So that's our best guess, I suppose.
Yes.
So question number 3 is more about our personal life. They've been asking, where are we?
Yes.
And why did we choose this location over another? So
Sure. Well, I would say probably the major factor in that decision was based around climate, and we noticed as you basically move from the east side of the state to the west side of the state, you get significantly less rainfall every year, meaning that you're drier in the western portion of the state versus the eastern portion of the state, and that will show with the vegetation that grows or doesn't grow in the particular areas.
So we're actually close to Altus,
Right,
Oklahoma. So we are very, very southwest, and we did that because we wanted to be in drier environments.
Right.
Less mold, less pests.
That's exactly right.
We thought for our endeavors as farmers, that would be the best area. Not that it won't be perfectly fine to grow in other parts of the state.
Yes.
Just for us.
Being that with this plant, those are issues that you will probably deal with during the growing cycle, is some form of mold or mildew. And as you sort of deal with higher humidities, or you're in an area with higher humidities, then that becomes more an issue for the grower, for yourself.
Nobody wants moldy bud. Nobody wants very humid conditions if they can help it when you're farming cannabis. So we thought we'd better go to the desert, and outside of Altus is where we found a farm that we love, we like, and the temperatures and the humidity was what we wanted.
Right.
So, and the last question for today, they want to know, what are your plans for your outdoor garden, Joe?
Outdoor garden. Well, for this year, if we even get going with one, that's kind of the big if now, is maybe to do something small in scale. It would be roughly between 2,000 and 3,000 square feet of canopy, if that. And that's if we can get all the fencing and other infrastructure up and going that we will require. This is bed building and either a greenhouse or hoop house construction.
It's going to be a big project.
Right. So this may be pushed off into the next growing year, and
we'll just focus on the indoor right now. We still haven't got the big room up and going yet, but Joe already is talking about plans for another one.
Yes. Another room right next to the room that's currently in construction. So that probably will take the priority over any infrastructure developing outside. So. Well, we'll see. We
would love to get an outdoor farm going, but it is a requirement that you have 8-foot fencing and that it be completely secured from theft, and that's a big construction and a big commitment of time.
Yes, and we already have that sort of infrastructure in place in the metal building outside, and it makes it easier to kind of get things up and going in that sense. So. Not that we're racing against the clock, but we have to prioritize, and probably time better spent getting the indoor facilities up and going and kind of running first, and then focus on expansion to the outside thereafter. A lot of it too being, we haven't been here a full year, so we don't really know what we're going to be dealing with, I guess through each season weather-wise, and kind of how quickly or how readily things can change is what I've noticed, and I don't know that we will have the success with a straight outdoor planting versus something that is covered under greenhouse or hoop
You
house.
guys have some wind out here.
Yes. There are elements to do with the environment that really kind of inhibit or prohibit us from wanting to do anything kind of in the outside without protection,
Without proper infrastructure.
Right, without a greenhouse or a hoop house, for example, to cover it from rain, wind, things like that. So
Exactly. Now, those are the questions that our subscribers have sent to us, but I thought maybe it would be a good idea for you to tell everyone how's it going in your indoor construction.
yes, indoor construction is moving along. There's been some breaks over the entire process just with the moving of things from California to Oklahoma as we've made that transition and are starting
All
to
our
get
stuff.
more settled. Yes, they're starting to get more settled here, and that can take time and a lot of effort and energy. So I find myself having to strike the balance or find the balance of both completing the construction phase of things, taking care of plants, and still really kind of in a transition of sorts. So yes, it's moving along, and now working currently on the electric, getting electric all roughed in, and from there. We do insulation, and after that we'll do some interior paneling, and kind of each step along the way we get closer and closer to a planting in that particular room. So all of us looking very much forward to that, and it should be a good sort of next couple of weeks for us, kind of leading up to that. I'm assuming so.
Tell us about the layout change and why.
Layout change was small. It was really just to do with dimensional lumber available, and what we were dealing with was maybe running beds, which we want to construct inside that room, and beds at the length of 28 feet. So I would have essentially had to break up those beds into a couple of different lengths or segments, meaning that there would have been a split down the middle of each bed and probably weaken the integrity of the bed that holds the soil in. So what I elected to do was just essentially turn the beds 90 degrees. We're going to end up running more bed in number, so 5 beds instead of 3. However, they're going to be much shorter in length and just run in a kind of perpendicular position relative to what we had initially planned out. These beds now will be 16 foot in length and 4 feet wide. So all in all, we calculated maybe there's a 16 square foot loss in
Growing area.
in the production or the canopy area of this change. However, we feel like for the layout of the room and for sort of the dimensional lumber sizes that are available.
And airflow and a couple of other things.
That maybe this will work out better for us, and it should be fine. But small changes here and there, and that kind of comes along the way with things.
You got to be flexible.
Yes, of course. It seemed to make sense. Rather than trying to assemble one really long bed, breaking these beds up into shorter beds. And, ultimately, I think we wanted to run more variety as well in terms of the plant genetics. So with the higher number of beds in the room, we're essentially not having to split a bed right down the middle with 2 different varieties. We can actually run 1 variety per bed if we decide to do that. And we can still split them if we want, but
sometimes it's important. Root zones grow at different rates. So if you put a fast rooter in the same bed as a slow rooter, you're going to get one might choke out or inhibit another one's growth.
Yes.
It's not a complete monoculture, but within the
right.
bed.
They're all really competing for resources. So when you have that competition, you're going to have some, like she says, root faster and take more of the available resources in that bed versus some that really do take longer or a little slower to develop root and other things. And you will have some competition and potentially some actually, I guess, detriment or harm, caused to one set over the other potentially.
Well, they may have different harvest dates as well. So
Right,
you'll have a bed that will be half harvested and the other half still another week.
That's exactly right too. So
Some ways we're just trying to simplify and make things easier in the big scope, from harvest to planting to all the stuff in between.
Right. And we don't want to be completely monoculture in that we don't want all the same variety in that room. However, we do understand sort of the importance of running, somewhat uniform or somewhat, I guess, similar.
Uniformed gardening, yeah.
Right,
exactly.
Right.
And the lights too. If you have a sativa growing next to an indica, the lights may not be even too. There's so many reasons why it's better to grow one specific variety in one bed over mixing them. So that's what's going on at the Greener Side Flower Shop Farm. And anything else you want to add, Joe?
No, just want to thank you guys again for tuning in, and we really appreciate you, and hope you continue to tune in. We've enjoyed everything from basically the production of things there in the building to producing the content that you see here, and yes, hats off to Tasha. Really, it's all her.
It's a learning curve, and this week we started doing sales too. So if I thought I was juggling before, now
yes. You're busier today, yes.
And Joe too. So I'm sorry if it's taken me a couple of days to get back to replies on Instagram or Twitter or even email, but we find you guys very important. What you have to say is valued, and we really do appreciate the feedback. There's no other way to know if what we're doing is helping the community or not. So with that, maybe we'll wrap it up, call it a day, get back
Thank you
out
guys.
there.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. We really, from the bottom of our hearts, we love it out here. We love the people. We love what we're doing. And you subscribers are a big part of that. So, thanks guys.
Thank you guys.
Bye. Okay everyone, that's our video this week. We hope you enjoyed it. It was a bit longer than usual, but Joe and I had a lot of fun chatting here in the studio. Now, don't forget to click that like button if you enjoyed the video. Click that subscribe button. That way you can get a notification for the next time we post a video. Also, don't forget, check us out on Instagram, on Twitter, and I'm starting to post a little bit of content on LinkedIn as well. Now, there's lots to do, electric to run, clones to cut. I gotta get back out there, but I want to thank you guys one more time. We really appreciate all of our subscribers, all of the people who take time to watch our videos. We really appreciate you joining us on this journey as medical cannabis farmers here in Oklahoma.